Who doesn't want a palm tree in their living room? This was the thought that led the celebrity to purchase a striking brass palm tree. They love this piece, describing it as a bold statement of success.
I think it said it was from a hotel lobby from the late 60s, I think almost even actually early 70s.
Purchased online for about $5,000 to $6,000, the piece was listed as being from a hotel lobby, dating back to the late 60s or early 70s. It was one of the first significant purchases the celebrity made, driven by its wild and unique appeal. When asked if they knew which hotel it came from, the celebrity admitted they never found out, but joked that it could have belonged to an old lady in Miami with a fabulous sense of style. The appraiser remarked that if it were from one of the iconic Miami Beach hotels, it could add significant value. However, even without that provenance, the piece is a cool and sculptural example of 50s interior design, likely made in Asia or South America. The appraiser estimated its auction value would be around,
I'd probably estimate it at auction in the $4,000 to $6,000 range, about what you paid for it. It's really a striking piece for the corner of your home.
Yeah, I love it.
He affirmed that it's a striking piece, perfect for the corner of any home. This beautiful antique piece was bought for 50 cents by the guest more than 30 years ago. It is real jewelry, not custom jewelry, made with natural fresh pearls, and is from American Rivers, also known as Mississippi River pearls. These pearls were made in Westeros, naturally, unlike others that are cultivated, and it has all the rose-cut diamonds, because it's an old piece. On the other side is a mark bearing the alphabets B, S, and F, which stand for Black, Star, and Frost, a very famous American jewelry firm, on par with Tiffany and other American jewelry makers. The rarity of these American pearls and their authentic signature make them valuable. The value of this piece of jewelry in the American market would be.
The value of this piece in today's market is between $3,000 and $4,000.
This fascinating picture, bought in by the guest, belonged to her dad, who had purchased it at an auction for a mere $30 back in 1960. The picture depicted a scene from the Moen Brewing Company, showcasing a horse-drawn brewery, unlike anything seen today. The absence of any cars in the picture indicates it predated the invention of the automobile. This detail, along with the style of the beer bottles, helped date the picture to the pre-Prohibition era, when the Moen Brewing Company was flourishing. While the brewery itself never reached the grand scale envisioned in the picture, the artwork remained a valuable piece of history. The appraiser classified it as brewerinia, a term for beer-related memorabilia. Considering its historical significance, excellent condition, and intricate details, the estimated price of the picture is.
I would suggest that at auction, this piece would be estimated $1,500 to $2,000. The details are fantastic, the condition is fantastic.
A guest brought in a French 19th century sculpture that belonged to Christine Hoyt, a friend of their mother's. Christine had travelled extensively in Europe before World War II, collecting antiques, including this statue. The sculpture, made by Alexandre Falguière, a leading academic sculptor in France. He was well known during his time for public commissions and work on the Paris Opera. The statue is signed by Falguière, which adds to its authenticity and value. Additionally, it's marked by Goupil and Company, a famous Parisian gallery with branches worldwide, known for publishing prints and making editions of bronzes. This gallery's connection further enhances the statue's historical significance. The statue features a lovely patina and high-quality casting, which the appraiser highlighted as particularly desirable attributes. The piece originally came with a pedestal and a turntable, allowing it to be viewed from all angles. The knob on the statue was used to rotate it, revealing its intricate details from every side. And as for its value,
at auction, we would probably get between $8,000 and $10,000 for it.
Oh my God!
Tiles often vary in color and design, but this tile is an exceptional example of Groby pottery craftsmanship. A guest received a tile from a friend, an antique dealer in Florida, in exchange for a mantel clock worth a few $100s. The appraiser confirmed the tile was made by the Gruby Pottery Company.
Okay, so let me tell you about this, why I like it and what I think it is, heck, what I'm sure it is. You suspected it might be by Gruby Pottery Company. It is Gruby, and I can tell you it's Gruby for several reasons.
Key features include the artist's initials on the back and a distinct glaze pattern. The tile's division into 4 sections and its dozen colors further affirmed its origin. Unlike most Gruby tiles with 4 to 6 colors, this one boasts a vibrant array.
The type of decoration is called Cuenca, which is like a burnt rope design where this burnt black line delineates one color field from the next.
The decoration style, called Suenza, uses a black burnt line to separate color fields.
Beyond that, the main thing is the way these glazes have gathered. That's like a signature for Gruby.
The appraiser praised the tile for its strong, powerful image and excellent color separation. According to its characteristics, the appraiser valued it as.
At auction, this tile is worth somewhere between $4,000 and $5,000.
Nice.
This charming English bracket clock chimes every quarter hour and strikes the hour with a beautiful gong. The guest estimates the clock's age to be between 1770 and 1780.
It is signed by a maker in Brighton, England. I tried to find out some information on the maker and...
Beautiful finish is actually celluloid, designed to resemble tortoiseshell. The expert corrects the age, placing it between 1851 and 1878, made by the Brighton clockmaker, Boxall. It features a unique silent strike option, perfect for peaceful nights. Exquisite details include a silver chapter ring, elegant mounts, and scrolled feet with traces of gold. Interestingly, the clock is signed and numbered on the back. Despite the imitation shell, the appraiser values the clock at.
In a retail setting, I would suspect that this clock would sell for around $4,500.
Okay. I know he had a son later, in a later period.
Right.
This beautifully exquisite lamp was produced by Tiffany Studios. Tiffany Studios represents one of the luxurious manufacturers of many beautiful products, including this one. Unlike other Tiffany lamps, this lamp shows no stained glasswork. However, the reason we can confirm it's a Tiffany lamp is because of a distinct feature.
This is a Favril Fabrique shade.
Okay.
It's also referred to as a linen fold shade.
It also features a brown to green finish that beautifies the lamp's metal. This exhilarating lamp was crafted in 1915 when a lamp like this one was used by the rich. The lamp also has a beautiful Favril fabric shade.
It does have a Tiffany Studios mark on the bottom, a brown to green finish on the metal.
At auction, this original desk lamp with a Favril shade and beautiful finish will sell for.
I would place a value on this for insurance from $4,000 to $6,000.
Really?
Toys are often cherished playthings, but these toy motorcycles are more than just childhood relics. They are rare collectibles, steeped in history and craftsmanship. A guest brought in a collection of cast iron toy motorcycles, inherited from their grandfather, a former motorcycle patrolman in Cleveland during the 1920s and 1930s. The appraiser identified them as products of Hubley Manufacturing Toy Company, dating back to the 1930s. The guest recalled admiring these toys as a child, but was never allowed to play with them.
I'm happy to report that these are all original condition. The paint is correct, the figures are proper, they are free from any breaks or cracks, which can often happen.
The appraiser noted the fragile nature of antique toys, particularly those made of brittle cast iron, emphasizing their susceptibility to damage. Despite their age, all motorcycles were in original condition, with intact paint and figures. The large Harley-Davidson Hill Climber stood out as the rarest and most coveted among collectors.
The large blue cycle here having the most wear and the most chips. What's really exciting for collectors on the large Hill Climber is that his rear,
featuring embossed details and nickeled wheels, The appraiser highlighted its desirability due to its condition and historical significance. According to the appraiser, the estimated value for each patrol cycle range.
In the 1930s, when these were being sold, they would have cost a few dollars, which at that time, that would have been a lot of money.
Right.
The appraiser valued the large hill climber as.
That can range anywhere from $2,000 up to even $3,000.
Wow.
The appraiser mentioned the collective value as.
Collectively, you're looking at an auction estimate of somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000 of cast iron toys.
Wow, don't tell my wife that. She'll make me sell them and take her on a trip.
The charm of this samurai armor lies in its intricate design and rich history. In the mid to late 50s, the guest's father bought this piece, fascinated by its samurai legacy. Made from lightweight and durable materials, the armor was crafted to protect warriors from various blows. Overlapped lacquered metal scales and fabric layers highlight the advanced technology of its time.
At how small the scale was, because we've grown so much as the human race. Armor was meant to protect.
A silk panel with a dragon, clouds, and a flaming pearl adds artistry and symbolism. The silk is actually an 18th century Chinese fabric, which is quite rare and valuable. Experts believe the armor dates back to the 19th century, just before the Meiji period. An original lacquered box with a family crest hints at the armor's noble past.
You'll notice here that this is a dragon with clouds and a flaming pearl. This is actually silk.
Really?
Despite some missing pieces, like the articulated gloves, the overall condition is impressive. Blending historical significance and craftsmanship, this samurai armor is valued at.
At auction, I would expect this suit of armor to make somewhere between $5,000 and $8,000 today.
Oh, wow. Okay, great.
If all the pieces were here and this were in perfect shape.
The guest stumbles upon a hidden treasure at an auction, a stunning glass piece by French artist Deschaud Chimont. The story begins 35 years ago, when the guest first saw this beauty in an antique dealer's shop in Pittsburgh. The dealer prized it so much that it never went up for sale, but after his passing, the guest, determined not to miss their chance, attended the auction and secured the piece for a mere $120. It's crafted using the pâté de verre technique, where finely ground glass in various colors is meticulously molded and baked in a kiln. This technique often results in softer details, but this particular piece is an exception. The scarab beetles adorning the glass, a popular motif inspired by the recent discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb, boast exceptional clarity and sharp lines. The color saturation is also exceptional, highlighting the mastery of the artist. In perfect condition, it could fetch a staggering $18,000 to $24,000 at auction, possibly setting a new record for pâté de verre pieces by Deschaud Chimont. Unfortunately, a crack running along the body of the sculpture significantly diminishes its value. While minor chips are negligible, the structural damage pushes the auction estimate down too.
At auction today, I would think that one might get $2,000 or $3,000 for it. It's very difficult when glass has been broken to determine exactly how much it might sell for.
Flags are not merely pieces of fabric. They hold stories of courage, sacrifice, and history. The appraiser praised it as one of the finest World War II flags he'd seen. It belonged to Bill Reed, a Flying Tigers pilot who destroyed 10.5 planes with the AVG and 8 more with the 14th Air Force. Reed tragically died in December 1944 during a mission when his plane ran out of fuel. Trying to bail out, he was struck by his plane and killed. He'd become a lieutenant colonel by then. The appraiser focused on the flag, identifying it as the headquarters flag of the 1st American Volunteer Group, also known as the AVG or the Flying Tigers. The flag is crafted from silk and entirely hand-embroidered. It features the inscription, 1st American Volunteer Group at the bottom. Additionally, there are Chinese characters on the side. While examining the condition of the item, the appraiser said,
"This flag would probably bring between $20,000 and $40,000. It's a very unique item. It's a very colorful unit. It's highly collected.
A stunning mosaic made of individually crafted glass pieces set in a metal frame exemplifies the opulence, extravagance, and luxury associated with Louis Comfort Tiffany, a key figure in the American Art Nouveau movement. This remarkable piece found its way from America to Accrington through the efforts of Joseph Brix. Joseph Brix, originally from Accrington, worked his way up from handyman to manager at Tiffany Studios in the United States. Brix's artistic input is evident in the mosaic's design. This particular piece, attributed to Brix, was never intended for sale. It was designed as an exhibition piece and first displayed at the Seattle Exhibition in 1909. Today, collectors highly covet Tiffany's work and would not hesitate to give around. This bear was presented to our guest by her adoptive parents. The item is a scintillating German Steiff bear. The bear was crafted in 1905 and was highly sought after at the time. This bear features shoe button eyes, signifying its origin predates World War I. Despite the bear's beige appearance, its brown nose signifies that it's actually a white bear.
Well, it's a beautiful German bear, and it's actually made by Steiff.
Okay.
The body of the Steiff bear consists of cardboard that is sewn into place. It is also worthy to note that collectors truly appreciate the unique charm and allure of these bears. In today's market, the luxurious Steiff bear would auction at
Probably on today's market, at a shop, between $10,000 and $12,000.
Really?
Yeah, really.
That's wonderful.
These three prints are masterpieces in the photography industry because they were taken by Ansel Adams. These photographs were obtained by the owner of a flea market in Castro Valley. One of the prints, which is signed by Ansel, shows the beautiful waterfall, Nevada Falls. The prints are clearly the work of an expert and are highly prized pieces among collectors. It's worth noting that the remaining two prints of the mountain exhibit a hand-stamped mark.
I know you're concerned as to whether Ansel Adams actually made these prints, and I believe he did make them.
These photographic prints were taken in 1960 and are still in crisp condition. Ansel had an iconic method for taking photographs called negative photography, and these prints are great examples. These expertly photographed prints in today's auction market would sell for.
At auction, this group of photographs is worth $15,000 to $25,000.
What we have here today is a piece of advertising furniture designed for thread spool display. The guest purchased this item at an antique shop while on vacation in California. This piece was crafted to advertise Belding Brothers & Co. and is designed in the Eastlake style.
And it was obviously to advertise the Belding Brothers and Company. They made fine silk threads.
Named after Belding Brothers & Co. Charles Eastlake. Charles Eastlake was a British architect and furniture designer. On either side of the furniture, there are drawers for displaying silk threads.
You can choose your various threads, and I'm guessing when they were on display, they were probably in a rainbow of colors.
Yes. The door of the display case is surrounded by a mellow honey-colored oak, complemented by cherry pilasters running down the front. Mahogany adorns the drawer fronts, featuring intricate pull handles below the display. The shelving inside the central panel has been replaced, which could slightly affect its value at auction. Given its good condition, this Eastlake-style furniture piece is expected to attract a value of.
You're probably looking at an auction estimate in the $2,000 to $3,000 range. If I saw this in a shop today, I would expect maybe $4,000 for it.
Okay, thank you.
The watch originally belonged to the speaker's late great-uncle. It had remained unworn for decades until a recent cleaning and assessment revealed its value to be a couple of $1,000s. Patek Philippe, renowned for its watchmaking, introduced this as a first-generation automatic self-winding model. The watch featured an 18-karat gold rotor and Geneva Fuscor damascening, showcasing meticulous detail and quality. It retained its original water-resistant crown and screw back, which were crucial for maintaining its integrity. Identified as reference 2552, The watch was exceptionally rare to find in such impeccable condition, displaying only minor scratches. The appraiser estimated the value of this watch at
a collector show watch in this condition can bring in the 10 to 15,000 range.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful.
And any kind of a
The guest shared a collection of approximately 50 World War II era posters inherited from their great-grandmother. There were several notable pieces, including Rosie the Riveter posters promoting the Woman Ordnance Worker program. These posters were significant in depicting women's wartime contributions. Next, a Ben Shahn poster illustrating the devastating Lindice massacre, a tragic event during the Nazi occupation of Czechoslovakia, was brought up. Another poster by Charles Coyner, which had urged increased factory production with patriotic imagery, was also featured. Additionally, a unique set of posters from the Office of Price Administration caught the appraiser's attention. The appraiser estimated the value of these posters.
Cool. Okay. So together now, we're looking at between $6,000 and $8,200, and that's just for the ones we're looking at, not for the other ones that are in the pile.
Okay.
The guest brought in a treasured chest, a cherished family heirloom passed down from their grandmother after the war. On examining this piece closely, it is revealed that the chest dates all the way back to 1680, a relic from the reign of King Charles II of England. The chest's condition was remarkable. It still boasts its original wooden pegs and the pull handle, a proof of its quality and careful preservation. Considering its impressive age and authenticity, its estimated value is...
If I were to see this come up for auction, I would expect it to bring around about $1,000. Thank you for bringing it in.
Thank you so much. It's good to know about it.
The guest brought in a wood carving that sparked memories of shared experiences with their brother, Vernon, a skilled woodcarver. The intricate details and craftsmanship of the piece resonated with the guest. The carving is Black Forest carving, a style known for its detailed figures. Unlike many Black Forest pieces, this one stood out for its exceptional execution and allegorical theme. The carving showed a young woman, symbolizing maidenhood, feeding a flock of chickens. The lively scene showcased her gentle demeanor, the intricate details of her face, and the various animals interacting around her. All this was done from a single piece of wood. Despite the lack of a known artist, the piece has a conservative estimate of...
This piece would conservatively be worth $4,000 to $6,000.
Well, that's great.
Inheriting a collection of Art Deco jewelry from her great-aunt was a deeply emotional experience for the guest. The collection came along with an accompanying note urging her to enjoy the pieces and pass them on to her daughter. They belong to the Art Deco period, a highly sought-after era in jewelry design. Dating back to around 1930, the jewelry incorporated diamonds, sapphires, and platinum, the metal of choice for Art Deco jewelry. The key characteristics of Art Deco design were the geometric shapes, clean lines, and bold color contrasts, all of which were beautifully embodied in these pieces. The ring featured a stunning center diamond exceeding 2 carats, while the sapphires boasted an unusual French cut. The bracelet, a style bracelet with a wider center tapering towards the ends, has an exceptional execution. A jeweler had recommended an insurance value of $5,000. However, if offered at auction today as a complete set, these pieces would have a pre-sale estimate of...
If you were to sell the pieces as a suite, meaning sell them together, they would have a pre-sale auction estimate of $15,000 to $20,000.
This collection belongs to the guest's parents, who moved to Nigeria after her father, a professor at UCLA in California, participated in a university exchange program. During this period, these unique pieces came to be. The male carvings were already made, but then the guest's mother asked that they could also make female figures specifically for her. Colonialism opened a market for African carvers to create objects beyond traditional tribal pieces. The carvings belong to the thorn carving style, pioneered by the renowned Nigerian artist Akeredolu in the 1930s. The meticulous detail in each carving, showing the daily life in Africa, reminded the guest of certain childhood experiences. While not categorized as fine art, there is a growing popularity of folk art, a category into which these carvings fell. The true value of the collection is estimated to be
Is worth $2,000 to $3,000.
You're kidding.
No?
Wow.
The guest brought in a seemingly ordinary piece of furniture, a dressing table, inherited from her family. It is, however, a true gem, a Boston lowboy or dressing table, dating back to 1750 to 1760. This early American piece, most likely used in a bedroom alongside a matching high chest, was crafted from walnut. Unlike many antique furniture pieces that go through repairs and replacements over time, this dressing table retains its original hardware and drawer pulls. Some features prove this is a Boston piece, like the distinctive scooped carved drawer with fan detailing, the apron shape, and the leg design. Unfortunately, the sun had bleached the wood over time, but a furniture conserver could restore its natural beauty. The estimated value is a staggering.
At auction, I would estimate $18,000 to $20,000.
Excuse me? Wow. Wow, that's amazing.
The guest shared the history of this clock, passed down through generations, originating from Baltimore in the early 1800s. This wasn't just any clock, it was a rare commemorative piece dedicated to George Washington. The statuary shows him delivering his famous farewell address, and the inscription below the dial bore the iconic quote, "First in war, first in peace, first in the hearts of his countrymen." The clock's origin is French, crafted by a renowned bronzer named Dubuc. The inscription indicated a production period between 1808 and 1816. A recent sale of a comparable clock fetched a staggering $140,000. However, this clock has undergone some alterations, replaced hands and refinished omolu, diminishing its value. Despite these issues, the final estimate is
between $50,000 to $80,000.
However, recently, the price of this clock rose to a staggering $110,000 to $125,000.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe that.
Our guest purchased this vase in Leningrad, Russia, after the Second World War. It has the monogram of Nicholas II and is dated 1909. Our guest used it for tall flowers and branches for many years. This vase was made by Imperial Glass, the finest manufacturer of glass in Russia. It features a beautiful engraved floral design with an Art Nouveau feel. The design was hand-carved using a copper wheel, making it very expensive to produce. Unlike more commercial pieces, this vase has a high lead content and is very thick and heavy. At auction, this Russian vase could easily fetch a value of
I would say the price you would have on it would certainly be in the $5,000 to $7,000 range.
That sounds very, very, very good.
This violin has been cherished as a family heirloom for generations, handed down from the guest's father, who was an Air Force Major General. He likely purchased it in Germany around the mid-1970s. Rather than playing it, the whole family admired its unique features, such as
I think that the lion carving for the top of the peg box makes it really, really unique. Indeed, it looks like it's been a beloved violin. You can tell by the creases in the fingerboard that the strings make as it's played, and that this has been a violin that's been played.
Inside the violin, the guest discovered intriguing labels in languages she couldn't decipher. Its back, made of bird's eye maple, reflects its German craftsmanship heritage. Among the labels inside, one attributed to Niccolo Amati turned out to be false, while another revealed a surprising maker's mark. It was made by Matthias Hornsteiner in Mittenwald in 1781. Mittenwald, nestled in the Bavarian Alps, has been renowned for violin making since the 1600s. The violin remains remarkably preserved, with all its original features intact. The estimated value of this piece is
We would put a retail value on it of $20,000.
Oh my, really? Really?
That's right, and that's conservative.
Here, we proudly present a baseball signed by some of the legends of the game. One of such signatures is that of a man celebrated as the first African American to break the color barrier in modern Major League Baseball, Jackie Robinson. Robinson's signing with the Dodgers signaled the end of racial segregation in professional baseball.
Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier in the major leagues in 1947. Teams and fans were mostly segregated.
Another signature is that of a distinguished catcher for the Brooklyn Dodgers, Roy Campanella. His career was tragically cut short due to paralysis from a car accident in January 1958. Then there's the signature of the first black pitcher to win a World Series game in 1952, Joe Black. Belonging to a versatile second baseman and coach for the Dodgers, the man whose signature appears here was honored as a National League Rookie of the Year in 1953, Junior Gilliam. The baseball features the autographs of all 4 players, collected at Wrigley Field during a 1953 game between the Dodgers and the Cubs. On the other side, it also holds the distinguished signature of an iconic center fielder known for his extraordinary career, Ty Cobb. For insurance purposes, this remarkable piece would be appraised at
I'd place an insurance value of $15,000 on the ball.
Thanks for sharing it with us.
Oh, happy to be here.
The guest brought a violin she'd appraised and was informed that the label inside was a forgery. The violin was identified as a labeled Joseph Hornsteiner, Mittenwald, 1792 piece. Joseph Hornsteiner violins are good for beginners due to their good quality and user-friendly models. Being the maker for over 2 centuries, the Hornsteiner dynasty excelled both in longevity of the line and reputation. Their violins were so famous that even the Gläsel firm in Germany currently offers a Hornsteiner model. To the guest's amazement, the appraiser multiplied the initial cost of this violin by 10 and valued the piece to be.
You bought it for how much?
$700.
Try times 10.
Yes, $8,000, $7,000 to $8,000.
While living in Denver, a gentleman offered the guest a trunk for $25, which he used as a coffee table in front of his sofa for nearly 40 years. The trunk was identified as a Louis Vuitton piece, likely made in the mid to late 19th century, with each leather piece stamped Louis Vuitton. There was also an ironing board within the trunk, emphasizing its sturdiness. The trunk's value was estimated to be between
a trunk like this would probably be worth $6,000 to $8,000.
Oh, wow.
This robe evokes a nostalgic feeling for many Asian antique collectors. It is a Chinese festival robe crafted in 1880. When you take a close look at it, the robe appears to be newly made, and this is because the Chinese were masters in the craft of weaving. The patterns on the robe provide a distinctive and appealing look. A look at the bottom reveals a strip called lishui, created through embroidery.
What happens is, in terms of embroidery, that technique is very, very easy to do.
Okay.
So the earlier robes do less of it, and the later robes do more of it.
Robes like these were worn on special occasions, such as weddings or festivals. Since the patterns are unique, they help bring the wearer to the center of attention.
So there'd be many women around the house who'd be doing nothing but embroidery and cooking in the household.
I see.
So they'd be producing things like this in vast quantities for usage for the family.
This robe was worn by the imperial household, and thus would retail at the auction price of
for this robe to sell for at least $6,000.
Oh, wow.
The couple discovered a box containing these books in the house they purchased. This 1910 third edition of American Woods by R.B. Hugh is esteemed in dendrology. This edition, part of a multi-volume series, meticulously and comprehensively catalogues North American tree species. American Woods volumes feature descriptions, uses, habitats, and mounted wood samples. These plates have different types of woods. These samples let readers see the unique grains and textures firsthand. In 14 volumes, over 1,000 American trees are identified by wood samples. Recognizing its significance in the study of trees, the appraiser valued the item.
Approximately $30,000.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
In about 1982, the guest acquired this pot from a friend for $20, hoping it would be a Gruby vase. The pot indeed had characteristics similar to a Gruby piece, such as its organic design with carved leaves, buds, and buttressed feet. However, it was identified as not a Gruby piece. Instead, it was a piece of Wheatley pottery from Cincinnati, made by Thomas Wheatley, who had created art and craft pieces similar to Gruby's style. This pot was molded rather than hand-thrown and carved, as Gruby pieces typically were. The appraiser praised the pot's form, color, and glaze, even with a small chip on the foot. He estimated its auction value to be between.
At auction, this would sell for somewhere in the $1,500 to $2,000 range.
Oh, wow. If it had been an actual Gruby, the value could have exceeded $20,000. This Patek Philippe watch is a perfect representation of exhilarating luxury. As the creator of some of the world's most expensive watches,
which is a company founded in Switzerland in the 1830s. And their great contribution to watches was Mr. Philippe discovered how you could wind and set the watch at a crown, getting rid of watch keys.
This gold pocket watch is no different, being made from real gold. A watch like this is rare to come by and surely serves as an extremely valuable heirloom. The movement of this watch at the time of its making was revolutionary. Close examination of the watch reveals it was made in 1928, and it remains unscathed. This watch, at the time of its creation, was designed to be a special piece.
But if you look closely at this watch, you will see right about there a small seal from the Geneva Observatory that tells you that this was a certified chronometer. It was a special watch.
It is believed watches like this one were used by the rich to show off their wealth. If this luxurious gold pocket watch were to be auctioned in today's market, it would sell for A guest brought in a pair of chairs, which he believed were from the 1960s. The chairs, which belonged to her grandmother, were purchased from the Knights of Columbus for $5. The appraiser identified the chairs as original Eames chairs by Charles and Ray Eames, dating back to 1949.
They're a little earlier than you think. They're 1949.
Oh, wow.
So the design came about in 1947. It was a MoMA design competition.
These specific chairs were some of the earliest models, featuring several distinctive elements. The label on the underside indicated a Herman Miller Zenith Plastics collaboration from 1949. Additionally, the chairs had a rope edge in the fiberglass and a slightly transparent parchment color when illuminated. Although the chairs were in good condition, one of them had a crack, which affected its value. Considering their desirability, the auction value suggested was
The auction value would have been about $2,000.
A tankard, a solid silver piece distinguished by its craftsmanship from the Georgian period in England, is the item at the centre of attention. This tankard has been in the family for several years, initially given to the guest's father. Seeking more information, the guest had it appraised at a retail store for $300, with no further details provided. It features a distinctive scroll handle and intricate marks on the lid and side. Marks on the tankard indicate it was crafted during the reign of George II in London, dating back to 1737. Robert Brown is the silversmith responsible for its creation. It was confirmed by the precise English hallmarking system, renowned for accuracy and identifying silver item origins and quality. If placed in a well-advertised auction, its estimated worth ranges from
good estimated value for this tankard is about $4,000 to $6,000.
Is that right?
The guest's father, a post-World War II architect with a passion for neoclassical features, amassed a vast library of encyclopedias and books. Among these is an incredible selection of works by the renowned 18th century Italian printmaker Giovanni Piranesi. Piranesi, born in Venice, moved to Rome in 1740 and mastered printmaking to document Roman architecture. One volume features a series of etchings depicting Roman architectural history. Another significant volume, Magnificenza, argues that Roman architecture was inspired by the Etruscans rather than the Greeks. Piranesi's collection of 330 detailed, beautiful, and historically significant prints is highly valued. These volumes, in early 19th century bindings, are remarkably well preserved without foxing or wormholes, which is uncommon for their age.
That's not uncommon, shipping, but these bindings are early 19th century. The one that we're holding now is 18th century.
Nevertheless, the entire collection has an aggregate auction value estimated between,
Grouped together, I think the aggregate auction value for the whole collection would be in the range of $50,000 to $70,000.
Thank you, Dad.
a French clock, identified as a crystal regulator, is the centerpiece of a family's heirloom collection. It boasts an oversized and ornate design, typical of European craftsmanship.
Mechanically, clocks like this are very, very good quality, and this really represents a period of about 1900 when these were made.
Sought after by affluent families on Bellevue Avenue during the early 20th century. Constructed in brass with a fire-gilded finish that remarkably retains its original luster, this clock is known for its intricate mechanics and exquisite glass detailing on all sides. Such clocks, revered for their craftsmanship and mechanical precision, epitomize the luxurious taste of the era around 1900. Its historical provenance and exceptional condition make it a prized possession. Recently serviced to ensure its functionality, the clock's current appraisal value is between
Estimate on this clock somewhere in the neighborhood of $8,000 to $10,000.
Wow, love that.
a lamp purchased at an auction in 1985 in Charlottesville, Virginia, caught the eye of the guest for its resemblance to one seen in the movie The Sting with Paul Newman. Subsequent reading of a magazine article identified the maker as Dirk van Erp. Dirk van Erp, a Dutch immigrant who settled in Northern Carolina in the late 19th century, crafted the lamp.
And became a pioneer and leading figure in the American arts and crafts decorative arts field.
Bearing his signature windmill mark, the lamp dates to circa 1910 to 1912 as indicated by a closed box design. Constructed of copper and mica, the lamp features rivets showcasing Van Erp's craftsmanship and attention to detail. Despite needing cleaning, the lamp remains in good condition. At auction, such early and well-preserved Van Erp lamps typically command prices ranging around.
And I would expect this at auction to sell for in the region of $20,000 to $25,000.
You kidding me?
I am not kidding.
Wow.
A poster of Mount St. Helens from the 1940s, specifically post-World War II, is being discussed. This Northern Pacific Railroad poster and others belong to the guest's friend's father, a World War II veteran. Among the collection is another Northern Pacific poster featuring a locomotive, illustrated by Gustav Krollman. Despite its poor condition, this poster showcases the North Coast Limited, a famous locomotive of the time. Another notable poster is of Yellowstone Park, depicting Old Faithful, created by Edward Bremer. These posters capture the essence of American history and post-war railway advertising. Dating back to the 1930s, such posters have become highly collectible in the poster field. Due to their historical significance and collectible nature, at auction, these posters are valued at around.
The Yellowstone Park Old Faithful sold just last year for $2,800.
You gotta be kidding me.
And the image of the locomotive...
I don't want to know, I think.
A jacket belonging to Carroll O'Connor, known for his role as Archie Bunker, was found at an estate sale in Malibu, California. This jacket is in excellent condition, and it came from O'Connor's daughter-in-law after his wife's passing. O'Connor's jacket returned fond memories of the guest's family enjoying the show together, All in the Family, which was known for challenging social stereotypes through humor, with Archie Bunker as the central figure.
This guy in this jacket just changing America by being a bigot, and everybody could see the humor in that.
Despite not being custom-made, it holds significant value due to its provenance. Photos of O'Connor wearing the jacket on the show, complete with his distinctive flag lapel pin, authenticate its history. In a memorable scene with Sammy Davis Jr., where a kiss broke the show's laugh record, the coat is visible. In pristine condition, at auction, the jacket is valued at.
At auction, this is worth $10,000 to $15,000.
No! You are kidding me!
No, I'm not. No.
This guest and her husband discovered an oil painting, dated 1953, by Kenneth Nunemaker, a self-taught artist associated with the Pennsylvania Impressionist movement. Known for his vigorous brushworks influenced by Edward Redfield, Nunemaker often painted en plein air, capturing scenes with vibrant energy. Titled Bill's Place, the painting was acquired for a mere $2, surprising the guest with its artistic quality. It bears Nunemaker's signature and is marked with the locations New Hope, Pennsylvania, and Center Bridge, where the artist lived and worked.
Label from 1874. Now, the difficult thing with these is putting a price on them. Each one is different.
Due to the rarity of Nunemaker's works on the market, its auction value is between.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's very exciting.
Good.
A collection of flags were discussed, highlighting their historical significance and unique characteristics. 3 specific flags from Texas and US history reflect unique star arrangements following Texas's admission as the 28th state in 1845. The first flag features red, white, and blue stripes, suggested by Benjamin Franklin.
However, Benjamin Franklin told the French, in looking for our ships, to look for a flag with red, white, and blue stripes.
Diverging from traditional US flag designs, stars on this flag were painted in a way to create a dimensional effect. Originally a 32-star flag, the second flag had space for extra stars that were never added, which was common among flag makers then. On one side, the stars are hand appliqued, while on the other side, the blue canton is cut to create peek-through stars. Arranged in a great luminary or great star pattern, the third flag displays stars forming the shape of a larger star.
And because Iowa was added later on in December of that year, this flag was only official for 1 year, so it's a pretty rare flag.
Reflecting their historical significance, this collection of 3 great flags is valued at around.
Value-wise, the Great Luminary would probably go at auction today for somewhere between $14,000 and $16,000.